And I'm sure most here are believers, though there may be skeptics in the audience hiding away, and that's okay. It's my job to change people's minds about Shakespeare. I love a challenge. But I'm not here to talk about the true believers. I'm here to talk about those who might be considered the exact opposite. Because, yes, Shakespeare is hard for a lot of people, and we've all got ways around that, and we've heard already amazing presentations about innovative ways to teach it, and we'll hear more about it over the next 2 days. And we need this to keep ourselves and our students inspired. But what about stripping it all the way back to why bother at all? And I don't mean why Shakespeare, because I know we can all answer that question. I mean those young people in our country for whom someone could and has bluntly said, why bother? Why bother teaching them Shakespeare? Why are you teaching my kid Shakespeare? He just needs to drive a tractor. Don't bother with Shakespeare, they can barely speak English. They're 5 years old, don't burden them with Shakespeare yet. This won't work, you don't know my students. These kids have bigger issues to deal with right now than Shakespeare. Or from a student, I'm going to earn 5 times more than you working in a mine, miss. I don't need Shakespeare. These are all real things that have been said to us or to teachers that we work with. And it's absolutely fair and necessary to question what we do. And we do ask ourselves the big questions. Why do we teach Shakespeare to refugee students? Why do we go into prisons and work with young offenders? Why teach Shakespeare in Australian country towns devastated by drought, by loss of industry, unemployment, mining collapse? There are bigger fish to fry for these people. What right do we have to go into an Aboriginal community and teach them about this old dead white male with archaic words when their own proud storytelling culture has lasted more than 50,000 years? Rather than tell you why, I'll share stories. Share the power of Shakespeare has had in the most unexpected of environments, the young people of whom others have said, why bother? And about their teachers. First, why bother? Regional remote schools. Ensuring access to programs and live theatre for regional remote schools has been, and always has been, a major remit for Bell Shakespeare. And one of the major ways we do this is through our work with regional teachers. And one of the programs we're most proud of is our regional teacher mentorship. I'm so excited to see a couple of regional teacher mentorship there in the front row here, and also presenting, at this conference. They're doing exactly what the aim is, to not have this transformation for themselves, but to share it with others. We've been running a scholarship for regional teachers since 2007, when we took 12 teachers in a year, and in 2016 we expanded it to 30 teachers per year, who now receive a year-long mentorship. To get into the program, teachers have to apply, and what we basically ask them to do is tell us a story. Tell us about your students, tell us about your school, about your community, your unique challenges. And these challenges are not things like my kids hate Shakespeare. They are geographic isolation, low literacy, low attendance, low socioeconomic status, low value of education, low level of parental education, parental unemployment, drought, loss of industry, difficult home lives, trauma, abuse, multiple student suicides, students with mild to severe disabilities, little or no access to resources, little or no access to PD, general lack of funding, sport prioritised over arts and English. Oh, and also, my kids hate Shakespeare. So Shakespeare comes in pretty low on the list of priorities and needs, and yet each year we receive applications from teachers who reach out and say, I need help. I'll never forget one letter which just opened with, help, exclamation mark. I am the only teacher in the most remote school in Australia, and I am first year out. Didn't really need to read the rest of that letter, but I did anyway. After 11 years in my job, I'm pretty good with Australian geography, but still we receive applications in and I have no idea where this place is, and it's always fun to Google map them and see the town and zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, still nothing around it. Think, I don't know how I'm going to get you out of there, but I will. From these applications, we select 30, which is hard because they are all worthy. We bring them to Sydney, and one of the first things we do is get them in a round table with other teachers, and they share their stories that they've told to us. And you can pretty much see the light bulbs in the eyes going around when they hear their stories coming out of some other teacher's mouth from the other side of the country.